Welcome to Old Walls House. It's me. It's your man. It's your main man. It's Old Walls. And I'm back with you. Episode 191 coming your way. Got a fun show here again this week, joined by the big cat Bill Gardner and MJ. MJ decided he wanted to come back one more time. Some big news for us to talk about. Bill and I talk about a little bit about the Packers. MJ exercises some demons. So you get a bonus fifth week of MJ and the big cat back in your life a little bit. So before we get into that show, I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you for all the support, all the watches, all the listens. So thank you. Don't forget to rate, review, comment, subscribe, and share. You can check out the merch shop in the link below in the show notes. And don't forget to check out MJ over at the Full Range Pod on Spotify and on the Old Walls House YouTube channel. So without any further ado, let's get into the show. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We've got some pretty big news to go over. So we've got Bill Gardner joining us again. It's been a little while, Bill. Got you in here to talk some Packers football. Kind of some big news we got to go over there. And,
yes, we do.
And MJ's back. He demanded to be here to to get some feelings out. So yeah, the big news last week, end of the week, Micah Parsons is a Green Bay Packer. 2 firsts, and Kenny Clark head to Dallas, and Micah Parsons heads to Green Bay with the largest contract ever for a non-quarterback. I believe it's $47 million this year, $188 over 4 years. MJ, we'll start with you here. I know you've been going through it a little bit. Just get it all out there, buddy.
I've had some time. I was in a depressive state for a good 72 hours, and did a lot of self-reflecting. It was difficult at times to understand what there was to look forward to in life in general. It was very sad.
You can look forward to Deron Butler.
No, Deron Bland.
Oh, sorry, Bland. My bad.
Yep. Yeah, they extended him today as we're recording this. I don't know still how I feel about everything. I really don't know. I've had some come to Jesus moments over the last few days. And to be honest, man, I've only really talked to you guys in the group chat and Jen. I've kind of just overflowed things to. Other than that, my dad and brother are Green Bay fans, and they've tried to bring it up, and I said I'm not going to talk about that right now, and just went about my business, and they just kind of laugh at me. So I guess my first thing is it was very sad. I think it really boiled down to the meeting Jerry had with Micah in March or April. Kind of behind closed doors with him and Steven, where they had a deal done. Micah came out on his podcast and different interviews and said, he doesn't need to be a $30, $40 million player. There was, all those talks of this is a big, team guy. DeMarcus Lawrence leaves for Seattle, and they kind of got into a little tiff a little bit, and how I think the assumption was Micah Parsons didn't like Lawrence because Lawrence wasn't a team guy and Micah was, and now there's things coming out that maybe it was a little opposite, and DeMarcus Lawrence was just, well, you're not as good of a player, so we're going to try to keep Micah. But I think it just boiled down to Jerry Jones is a loyalty guy. And once Micah and his agent, and I think the agent played a big part in it, once they broke the trust of that handshake deal that they had back in March or in April, I don't think Jerry could ever not take it personally. And then it became personal with Micah. And then I think at the end of the day, I know the Cowboys have been through this a lot, but I think it was beyond repair in this case. So I think that's the black and white version of it, at least on my end.
Seems fair. I will say, before we get into how this affects the Packers, I do find it a little suspicious, and Bill, you and I have texted about this, that all of a sudden there's a lot of Micah's a bad teammate rumors floating around. It's I've been a Micah Parsons fan from his Penn State days, and then kind of, I've always kept an eye on him. That's all very, very, very recent. And hey, maybe it's all been, covered up all the years, but it seems very suspicious that all of a sudden, it's all Mike has been a bad teammate. It's like, well, where's that been for his last 4 years in Dallas? The 3 years he was at Penn State, you never heard a word about that. So I will have to. I'm coming right out. I believe I said the last time we recorded MJ when we did the AFC, NFC North, and the Packers stuff. Then I was like, oh, there's no chance Micah Parsons gets traded to the Packers. I'm like, the Packers will say they were in on him, but they just couldn't quite get there. And then all of a sudden, John Kuhn's tweeting out, Tuesday night, Micah Parsons, and then nothing happens. I was like, fucking John Kuhn was fucking with us. But it happened. Bill, can you believe it happened?
No, dude, we were texting for a few days, like, before it actually broke, and it was all these, like, I don't know, dude, it was weird, like, Twitter stories, like, my realtor knows a guy who talked to Micah's agent, and he's looking at green, it's, like, all these crazy, and then it was like, okay, it was like, now things are starting to, like, and then, like, the John Kuhn tweet came out, and now we know, like, when he had tweeted that, I guess the deal had happened at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Or was going to. They knew it was going to. So it was like we were kind of back and forth. Like, is this actually like happening? Like, this is kind of weird that like these things keep kind of trickling out. Then I wasn't even paying attention to anything, and you texted me, and I was like, no way. I was like, there's not a chance, dude. So I got on like everything and I'm looking, I'm like, no way. Like, it's just shock because it's like we said, it's not something they typically do. They do it about once a decade, maybe.
Yeah. Reggie White, Charles Woodson, Micah Parsons.
Yeah. I mean, it was, just shock. And then immediately, like, what did they give up? Like, that was the big thing. It was like, what did they lose in this situation? I assumed it was going to be more than what it ended up being.
Yeah, when I saw it was 2 firsts, I was like, holy shit, that is like a steal. Like, you'd absolutely... 2 firsts where the Packers have been drafting, 20s, late 20s.
Mid-20s.
Yeah, like, that's... Like, to get a guy like Micah Parsons in one of those is absurd. So, like, you'd bet 2 of them to get a guy like that. And then I saw with a player to be named, and that didn't come out for a couple hours. And my initial thought, and I think you and I have said this to each other too, Bill, is that we're like, oh, it's Rashawn Gary. They're going to swap Rashawn Gary. And it's like, damn, that kind of sucks because, like, he's a good young player. But then it was Kenny Clark, and it sucked because I think you said to me, you're like, oh, he felt like a dude who was like a lifetime Packer. Like,
he's
nose
been
to the
with him
grindstone.
It's been 9 seasons with him, dude, and he's been holding down the middle that entire time. And he's always been like a quiet, just do your job type, like a good team guy. So it was surprising to see that it was him.
Yeah, and it sucks that it's him because, like, it does leave a gap in the middle there. I mean, you look at the depth chart, you're looking at Colby Wooden and Devontae Wyatt are like the guys that kind of got to step into the middle now. And Wyatt has shown some promise, but like Colby Wooden's a pretty unknown.
It's a good year because we might be in the 4th year of Wyatt, so they probably have to make a decision on his 5th year. I mean, now's your chance. You're either going to stay on the team or not based on how you do this season.
Yeah, and as much as it sucks to lose Kenny Clark, and there's probably still a good year or 2 left in his high productive years, like 9 years in the league as an interior lineman, like you're at the tail end of your high productive years. So I know we've talked, like, he might not have even gotten extended again. I think he was up for a contract this year or maybe next. If I can't remember off the top of my head, but like he may not even gotten extended either. So it sucks to lose a player of his caliber, but like from a Packers perspective, from where I'm sitting, this was a phenomenal trade.
Yeah, I think they got better for sure.
Yeah.
Without giving up too much. Like we said, Gary would have been like, you're just replacing one. Like, Parsons is obviously better than Gary, but you're just replacing one player with another. By getting rid of an aging defensive tackle. Maybe they bump down Van Ness because he hasn't really panned out as the edge guy. So maybe they bump him down.
And that was a
and use
big
him in that
thing when
situation.
when they drafted him, was like he can play everywhere. Like you can move him
Yeah.
kind of all over the field. So
Yeah, I mean, you could get yourself in a situation where you have Gary, Parsons, and I mean, if Vaness can step up, he's a first round pick, so he has the potential to be good. Now's your chance because with Gary on one side and Parsons on the other, you're never going to get double teamed.
yeah.
So you need to take like these young guys that are going to be in the middle. They need to take full advantage of this opportunity.
Yeah, I had said to you, I'm really excited for what this means for Sean Gary. Like he was taking steps the last couple of years to being a pretty good player. And Micah Parsons is obviously going to get all the attention, all the double teams. Like you're going to have a lot of good looks on the other side from him. And it wouldn't be surprising, as you mentioned, like to see a lot of the coverage go to the exterior. Like the guys in the middle in a pass rush situation. I mean, you don't usually expect your interior lineman to be doing a lot of like the QB pressure, but like there's going to be a lot of focus on the outside. Like there's going to be options for
And they're going to
opportunities rather.
They're going to bring a lot of pressure up the middle with their backers. Walker and Cooper are super athletic and rangy linebackers, and they'll bring a lot of pressure with them. So I think, I mean, it's a great move. But I think also people need to temper expectations. All of a sudden, Green Bay's a Super Bowl contender. There were people picking them to finish third or fourth in the North.
Yeah.
Like I think that's a little crazy. I think they'll be second. I still think the Lions are better. But this makes them a better team.
Yeah. Before we go diving into Green Bay a little more entirely here, Bill, MJ, how do you feel about what the Cowboys got back in return?
So just if I could add a little to the Green Bay side real quick before I do that. I don't think your run defense got any better in the Parsons trade. That's my one dig on Parsons always was the really good teams in the league would run at him because he's never been really known, especially at the defensive end position. Now, maybe they go a little, flexible with where he's going to play more than Dallas kind of did. But teams ran at him. San Francisco did it. Green Bay did it. A lot of the better teams that had good lines and good running backs would just run right at him. So, like, that is a little bit of a concern because you do lose Kenny Clark, who has been a top 10 defensive tackle in the league for many years now. Like, he might be quiet and stuff, but he's a very good quiet. Like, that's very, very good. So you do have to worry about that. But I also think it's a really good trade for them in the short term. This tells me Green Bay's going for it. If it's not this year, it's next year for them. Because, then you're going to start getting into more, you can be flexible with your cap, but you're paying him a lot of money and like you're going to have to pay some other guys and, all that's going to start to be some tough decisions and it could be a little hairy after that. But I really like it for Green Bay. On the Dallas side, like if I try to take away emotions from it, and I was very upset because I ended up really liking Micah Parsons. Like I even jokingly said, like when they drafted him, if they drafted him in the top 10, I would be upset. But if they got him at 10 or more, I would buy his jersey. And I ended up buying his jersey. That will now be going in the garbage. But there's somewhat of like, there was a feeling for me like this was going to be kind of a punt of a season in Dallas. Like, I don't think any real person that watches the NFL was thinking the Dallas Cowboys were going to be in contention for an NFC championship and a Super Bowl. I really don't think. And if like you're a Cowboys fan listening and you thought that, I just don't think you really understand what's happening. I think they're young at some like good positions. Their offensive line needs to continue to like develop and get continuity and stay healthy. They got some youth in the running back room. They've extended Jake Ferguson at tight end. You've extended CeeDee Lamb. I think they're in a position now to extend George Pickens to stay in Dallas. for the foreseeable future, maybe a 2 or 3 year deal. You're able to extend Bland now. And I also think, like Jerry alluded to it in his press conference at the end, about maybe this is 4 first-round picks that they can go after somebody. I think that might be after the season, like pre-draft or during the draft. Maybe they move some things around and say, maybe not 2025, 26, but 26, 27, we can start making some noise again. I really like Kenny Clark. My only thing was, I wish they would have gotten one more player or one more pick. And it didn't have to be a first round pick. It really didn't have to. It could have been a 3rd round next year, or a 2nd round the year after, or even after that. Like, I just thought there was just one more step, but it also told me, and I keep going back to it, just how dysfunctional that relationship got in the last 8 months. I think it just really got spoiled ever since that handshake, and then the agent was like, "We're not doing this. Like, we're you're ending your number at 40 million. We're not even starting there. We're starting at like 45." So I like it for Dallas, not for this year. I just don't think they're still going to be competitive as the team that they're going to field on Thursday in Philly. But I do think Jerry and Steven finally had kind of like an aha moment of, maybe we don't need to spend $50 million on a player, and maybe next year or the year after we can really get after this thing and develop some of these young guys and get a little bit better. So I'm trying to be positive for you guys, because there hasn't been a lot of it, man. This was really, really heartbreaking at the end of the day, really, for me. But that's my take, at least on the Dallas part of it.
I will say, from the Dallas perspective, I don't love it. I think they could have gotten a little more out of them, but the point in the year where they're making this trade
exactly
kind of made it tough.
I think they were kind of stuck.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, you had to see some writing on the wall. Like, this would have been great during the draft.
Yeah, they would have got a lot more.
Oh my God! Yeah.
At least 2 more picks, probably.
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe
and
like
a player
2nd
still.
and something out of it, like a 2nd and a 3rd, maybe even.
Yeah.
But I don't hate it I don't love it from the Dallas perspective, but I don't hate it. Like you said, like, it leaves you 4 first-round picks over the next 2 years. You know, there was a lot of, maybe they're going to get ready to go get Arch Manning, but that might be on the back burner now after this weekend.
No.
So
I don't think that's in play. I think this team's still going to be like fighting for around 500 this season.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they got and what's crazy is they lost Micah Parsons, who's a top 3 defensive end pass rusher in the league. I really don't think they got that much worse. I really don't think they got that much worse. I don't think Micah Parsons was going to make that big of a difference on this team.
probably not on
this
that
year.
team.
This year, I don't think he will. Now, on Green Bay, I think he's a piece that on 2nd, 3rd, and long situations or whatever, you're going to have some issues if you're going against Green Bay. Like, you're going to have some problems. First down, no. But on 2nd, 3rd, especially 3rd and long or a 4th down situation, you're going to have a top 3 defender in the league problem.
Yeah, let's swing it back to Green Bay here, Bill. Like you just said, like, all of a sudden everyone's like, oh, Packers are Super Bowl contenders. I mean, I think there are still some pretty obvious question marks on this team. First and foremost, can Jordan Love stay healthy for an entire year? We haven't seen that yet. He's already coming into the year with a thumb injury on not his throwing hand, thankfully, but still.
The only time he hasn't been hurt when he was the backup.
Yeah.
Ever since he's become the starter, it's like it feels like every month or two, he's got something. Even if it's small, there's always something.
So that's a question mark. His play is still a question mark. Like, there have been some very high highs. Like, the end of his first year was awesome. From about Thanksgiving on through that playoff run was pretty darn good. There were points last year where he looked good, but there were points last year where he looked pretty bad. So those are big question marks. Who's going to go out and
consistency is his biggest problem. ceiling is so high, but that floor can still get pretty low sometimes.
Yes. The next question mark offensively is who's catching the ball. I mean, a lot of good reports about Matthew Golden, but then it's just a who's who of like the next bunch of receivers, like who's going to do something.
They traded
Octavian Wicks, Christian Watson.
Right? They traded, released Hardman, right?
Yeah,
or something. Right. Yeah. Sorry if you mentioned that. Sorry.
So right now it's going to be, I mean, I really don't know who the one is. I'm assuming they're going to start the season with Dobbs as the one, because Reed is a slot guy.
Yep.
I think they want Golden to become the one. Watson will be back at some point, but he's a flyer. I mean, he's not going to be a one guy. He's not going to do the dirty work. Yeah, so that's going to be, dude, and they still can't catch.
Put him out there, Bill. Put him out there. Put Golden out there, man.
I think he should be the one. I think you just roll.
Yeah, he's going to develop.
He's the only one I've seen that can catch the ball. Also, I'm now on board with just going with Golden and him being the guy because he changed his number. He was going to be number 22, which is a terrible wide receiver number, and I think he's going with 0 now, which I'm okay. I'm fine with that. But yeah, I did not like seeing 22 out there lined up out wide on the fly route. It just looked weird.
That was like the year Ty Montgomery played running back for us, wearing 88.
Yeah.
So weird. It's like a running back out there.
Yeah. The offensive line is a little bit of a question. There's been some kind of juggling around, a little bit different philosophy.
They'll be solid. They usually find a way to figure that out. They'll be solid. They won't be the best line in the league, but they'll be far from the worst. They'll get the job done. I was going to say this earlier. I'm glad that they traded away the 2 firsts. They can't hit on first round picks.
They might have this year. That's just I love Matthew Golden, though.
I hope this is when it turns around. But, I mean, we just said Van Ness. He's been a project that hasn't panned out the way you wanted it to. Like, he's flashed in moments, but it hasn't been what you wanted. Was it Jordan Morgan last year? The guard/tackle who can't find a spot on the starting lineup? Like, he's battling with Rasheed Walker, who is, a 6th round pick?
Something like that, yeah. And I think all indications are that Rasheed Walker's going to be the starter.
I think so, dude. It's like, so your first round pick last year is no help to your offense. Like, and you can't have that. A first round pick.
Oh. There we go.
Did I just cut out?
Yeah, you cut out. You cut out after first round pick.
First round pick needs to contribute right away in some form. I mean, he's been a backup for 2 years. Like, it's just, so with the way those have gone, I don't mind giving up 2 for Parsons, because you can basically say this year's first round pick is Parsons. So you take that first round pick and that's him. And then next year it's like, if your team pans out the way you want it to, it's going to be a real late first anyways. And you don't have haven't had a good run with those lately. So
I think probably, and I saved this for last, probably the biggest question mark for this team is cornerback and, defensive secondary outside of Xavier McKinney. And I think that's the biggest thing, is without directly addressing that, the Micah Parsons thing helps, is that when you get into those passing downs, like, that Micah Parsons and Rashawn Gary are coming for you, and it may relieve a little pressure off, our starting cornerbacks of Keyshawn Nixon and Nate Hobbs. So one of which was a receiver.
Yeah, the All-Pro punt returner 3 years ago, or kick returner, turned corner. No, I'm sure he was. Oh, we also forgot about Melton.
Yes, Bo Melton, receiver turned. He's in the backup position, I believe.
They have him listed as DB4, I believe. So he is number 4 in the lineup there, and he was a wide receiver, the 7th string wide receiver last year. Is now your 4th string corner.
He's a poor man's Travis Hunter.
It's just weird.
Let's get him playing both sides of the ball.
Yeah. I mean, you hope that the Parsons thing, I guess, is maybe they're like, indirectly helping the corners.
Mhm.
We get pressure, we get more pressure, we get pressure faster than we have in the past. It saves those corners, it protects them a little bit. You do have good safeties. McKinney's a stud. Williams had a great rookie year last year. He's going to be the starter opposite of McKinney. Bullard was fine last year for a rookie.
Yep.
Nothing super great, but did fine.
And fits
I think
into his
they're gonna
role as like
find-
the nickel safety.
Yeah,
Like
they're going to find a spot for him. So you hope that everything else you have built there will protect those corners. And they're capable. It's not like they're terrible, but
They got to stay
I
healthy.
mean, because Nixon's been playing.
Mhm.
With all the injuries Green Bay has constantly had in the secondary the last couple of years, he's been playing corner a ton.
yeah, he started
So
as
he
like a
has the
specialty
experience.
corner, and then all of a sudden was like out there playing the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the formula for this team is pretty simple, I think. It's get up early, rely on the run, make them have to pass, and let Rashawn Gary and Micah Parsons do work defensively. And just hope Josh Jacobs stays healthy and try and ride him like a son of a bitch like he did last year.
Just make sure you're stopping the run on first down. Just you got to find people that are going to do that.
That could be the issue. That could be the issue. Bill, I know we talked about maybe just running through the season schedule here real quick and just kind of seeing where we fall. MJ, what'd you have the Packers slotted for? Did you have them at 10-7?
11-6.
11-6. MJ,
Tied with the Lions. Yeah, I have my papers right here actually still.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right, Bill. Let's just run through it real quick. I think we got about 10 minutes or so here
11-6.
before we got to get to a draft.
A second place, but I might flip-flop it now. But, yeah, 11-6.
So, Packers-Lions in Green Bay to start the season. 3:30 Sunday, next Sunday afternoon. We'll be at halftime in about 1 week.
Loss.
It's hard for me to see the Packers pull that one out.
They're going to
At
lose.
home?
They haven't beat the Lions in, 3 years?
Oh, dude, they're going to win
crazy.
week one.
Since did they lost to the Lions that Rodgers last year the first time too, right?
Dude, it's been a while. The Lions have won maybe 5 or 6 straight on them.
Coming
No, that's not right. That's not right. When Love got hot at the end of his first year,
They beat him on Thanksgiving that year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Last year, the Lions swept them.
Yep. Yeah, I'd agree with you there. 0-1. Packers Commanders. That's Thursday night, short week.
Loss.
I have the Packers winning that one.
I do too.
I think they'll win one of those games.
Okay.
One of them. They either
Reel
beat
the
Lions
fishing
or they
pole
beat
back
the
in,
Commanders.
Bill.
They'll be 1-1 after that game.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Then they head to the Browns. They're going to beat the Browns.
They should win.
So that'll be 2-1. They go to Dallas Sunday night, week 4.
Josh Jacobs over. Whatever his rushing yards are.
I can see that being like a funny game because of all the noise and everything that it's going to bring. I can see it getting a little funky, but I think they'll win.
Yeah. I think they could be very easily 3-1 coming out of that. They could also be 2-2 very quick. MJ thinks they're going to be 4-0.
I do.
Really?
I do.
Good Lord. Then they must have the off week because they go from September 28th till October 12th. What's October 12th? That's just another Sunday. Yep. So they're off, and then they have the Bengals come to town.
Being at home helps, but that's a tough one. Man, I don't know if they can stop Chase and Higgins. Like we said, that's going to be their weak spot. So I'd give that one to the Bengals.
Yeah, that's kind of how I fall. So 3-2 there. Then they go out to Arizona. I think they get it done against the Cardinals.
I do too.
That's like the weird, like Packers going west, kind of like still early in the year. There are some. MJ's got them losing again.
I do. 2 in a row.
All right, I got them.
I could see the Cardinals.
Sorry,
doing something
you can ignore
weird.
me. You can ignore me.
So we got them 4-2 at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, 4-3.
4-3, yeah.
4-3. Then they head to Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers' revenge game. It's going to be a Sunday nighter.
Has Rodgers beat every team in the NFL besides the Packers?
That's a great question. I would have to think so.
If that's the case, Pittsburgh wins. And Rodgers completes that tour of being one of the quarterbacks who's beat every team in the NFL.
Yeah, he's defeated 31 other NFL teams.
Uh-oh.
Pittsburgh.
Damn it.
I think Pittsburgh defense is a little bit better.
That's the kind of game he fucking wins, too. Like, to fucking certify his
He's going to put the belt on. And
yeah.
Joel's going to be going crazy.
Yeah.
Joel is going to be having the goddamn time of
He'll be in my
life.
basement all decked out and fucking Steelers shit.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that makes them 4-3, give or take. Panthers the next week at home, they'll win that one. That's 5-3. Monday night in Green Bay, Eagles come to town.
I said they get it done.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. I was saying the other way, 6-3. Head to New York for a nooner.
Whatever New York team it is, they
Giants or Jets?
Giants. Yeah,
Look out.
Either one.
Look out.
7-3. Vikings come to the Packers on November 23rd.
Win.
All right. Damn. Gardner. That's 8-3.
I know. This is too many wins. I don't like it.
Don't worry. They're coming here. They're coming. We're fine.
But it's J.J. McCarthy. He's not going to be quite ready yet at that point.
No. Lions on Thanksgiving, short week.
That's a loss.
In Detroit. So 8-4. Bears the next week. Again, a noon game.
I'll give them the win there.
I think they get it done. 9-4. Then they head to Denver for a 3:30 game.
I think they lose to Denver.
I do too. 9-5. Then they go right back to Chicago.
I think Denver's legit this year.
I do too. If shit, why am I blanking on the quarterback?
Bo Nix.
Bo Nix.
Thank you. If he makes the next step, like they are legitness.
Yeah,
but then they go to the Bears. I think they probably split with the Bears this year.
I think so too.
Then they host the Ravens.
I think that's a loss.
Yeah, and then
What are you at?
that would make them 9-6 going into the final week against the Vikings.
No, there'd be two more. There'd be two more games, so they must be 10-6.
10-6. Yep. Sorry.
And then the Vikings, right?
Yeah, I think they beat the Vikings.
Depending on what's going on with the playoff situation here, I don't know. I feel like the Lions will sneak one from them.
Vikings.
Yeah,
sorry, Vikings.
No.
So that might have been 10-7. I don't know. It's somewhere between 9-7 or 9-8.
I think they end up 10-7.
I think that'd be a solid year.
I think the Lions win the North again. I think Green Bay once again gets into the playoffs as the wild card.
If they just get into the playoffs and they're kind of healthy, like as healthy as you can be at the end of an NFL season.
I don't know what it is, but like there's something about like the team right now. It's like I don't have like a ton of faith in them to be like this jug. Like I've seen people say they're going to win like 13 games now.
No.
I don't think that's going to happen. I've seen people say that they're going to win all these games. I think in the regular season they're going to be okay. But I have like a better feeling of them like making their way into the playoffs and then being a problem for teams.
That was just what I was going to say. The team as a whole, like same with obviously it like rides on Jordan Love's shoulders here, but like the team when it clicks can really get it going. And even some of those guys like we kind of run down at receiver like Christian Watson and Dobbs and like when they can't catch.
Dobbs has had some big games in his career.
When those guys like throw it together all of a sudden, it's just like, holy shit, these guys are good football players. It's just they play 2-3 games in a row where they look like they've never played a game of fucking football before.
11-6, NFC Championship. loss in that game. Loss in that game.
You
They
still
do
riding
love
with the
losing
Rams?
NFC championships.
I have the Rams, but
Does the Parsons trade make you reconsider that at all?
no.
I don't think so either. I think he's a great piece and he makes the team better, but I don't think it's enough that it automatically jettisons them to these Super Bowl champs.
This is also health related. Like, I think Stafford, Adams, Puka, Kyron Williams, and that Rams defense, in my eyes, or even Philly, or those types of teams. Like, if we took all health into consideration, like both teams are healthy.
How long has Philly been on this little run? Like 3-4 years?
I don't want to talk about it. I'm out of here.
They might be at the end of it. Yeah. All right. Good talk.
Let's hope.
We got to go draft some fantasy football.
Let's go.
We take it first.
Jamar Chase is coming off the board.
Okay.
You can have Bijan.
Okay. All right. He led me to a title last year, so I'm going to stick with him.
Wait, hang on now. I might have to reconsider.
Scoop him
Last
up.
year I had my first two picks were Gibbs and Bijan.
Pretty good.
Pretty
That's
solid.
not bad.
Yep.
All right, we'll talk to you guys again here soon. We gotta go draft this thing. Leave your things open.
Yep.
You got it.
See you, boys.
See ya.
Okay, let's talk some Cleveland Guardians here. Been a while since we've talked about them, and things have not been going swimmingly. They had a chance to keep themselves in the hunt by sweeping the Mariners and getting to like 2 back with the Mariners. Instead, they only took 2 of 3. They fall to 4 back. Things really weren't off the rails against the Braves. Get swept by the Braves. They were in a fine spot then. Get swept by the Braves. Lose 2 of 3 to the Diamondbacks. Get swept by the Rangers. Then 2 of 3 from the Mariners. 2 of 3 from the Rays. But it's a little too late now. They are down 2-0 in the top of the second to the Red Sox as I record this right now. But they're just in too tough of a spot. At this point, it looks like to be able to do anything outside of a minor miracle. Obviously, 10.5 back of Detroit. That's not happening. But the wild card, I mean, feasible, you could say. They're 4 back of Seattle. Again, had they won Sunday, they'd be, would have been 2 back. Maybe just 3. But still, the other problem is they have the Rangers, who, again, they got swept by at the end of August. And the Royals out ahead of them now, who are 2.5 and 3 backs. I mean, they've got to leapfrog 3 teams from here till the end of the year. It just doesn't look like that's going to be what happened. Obviously, starting pitcher and your starting closer being suspended, not ideal. They decided to kick the can on Carlos Santana this year. They released him. I think he just got picked up by... Oh, I just saw it. Why can't I think of it? He just got picked up by somebody. The Cubs. That's right. The Cubs added Carlos Santana. I had that in my head, and it just completely left me. So, yeah. Tough one for Cleveland. Let's kind of cover some college football here, shall we? College football back in earnest here this week now. Full week. We got 1 game left. We got North Carolina tonight, but there were some interesting games this weekend. We'll just get Penn State out of the way. Just dominated, Nevada. Just completely outmatched team. I mean, I know nobody's going to play a bunch of, tough games anymore. That's not true because other people do. But, I mean, Nevada, come on. Standard fare. I mean, Drew Aller, 22 of 26 for 217 and a touchdown. 8 rushes. This was what I was most interested in, is how they kind of split up the ball carrying. 8 rushes for Katron Allen, 8 rushes for Nick Singleton. Katron Allen, 8 for 43. Singleton was 8 for 19, 2 touchdowns. The receiving, which is going to be a very interesting thing this year. The ball got spread around, primarily between Kyron Hudson and Trevor Pena. Nick Singleton caught 4 balls for 37 yards. And then Andrew Rapalilla He's a tight end for Penn State. Big boy, big fella. He caught a few balls in there too. So, I mean, it was 27-3 at halftime, and they ran it up less than I thought they would. They did not cover. Jimmy usually likes to cover it in those circumstances. So, Penn State's got another, brutal game here next week. Just a tough one, man. I mean, this is what's called tough scheduling. Florida International comes to town. They're again a 43.5 point favorite. 43.5. Then Villanova, September 13th. Off week 4, Saturday, September 20th. And then September 27th, the season gets going in earnest. Number 7, Oregon comes to town. Oregon also victorious this week over a tough team in Montana State. Montana State, 59-13 win for Oregon. So if you look around elsewhere, I mean, the big story is Texas and Arch Manning go into Ohio State, and Matt Patricia's defense at Ohio State just basically shuts them out. They scored 1 touchdown in the fourth quarter. Arch Manning goes 17 of 30 for 170, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. It was a tough one for him. A lot of hype coming in. I don't think I said it on the pod because I haven't talked about it, but I was like, I think Texas is far superior. Ohio State lost a lot of players. I think this is going to be a sizable win for Texas, and wow, was I wrong. Ohio State defense just bucks up, holds Arch Manning. That said, Arch Manning looked very bad, but I'll just get that out there. Let's pump the brakes. It's week 1. Things can happen. 12-team playoff. Texas has plenty of opportunity to keep themselves in that. Ohio State right back to the number 1 ranking, picking up right where they left off, just winning big games. So Ohio State, friend of the program, Jeff Stlanovic, was texting throughout the game that these teams both stink, and there's no way we should believe they're number 1 overall teams. Kind of going down the board, a lot of cupcakes being played, but one of the more surprising games of the weekend, the Florida State Seminoles take out the Crimson Tide of Alabama. Just Thomas Castellanos, a little over 225 yards, all-purpose yards, leads the Noles past the Noles, who were 2-10 last year and had a ton of transfers in and out, leads them past Florida State. Florida State does not escape Tallahassee. Gavin Sawchuk, a guy I know very well because he was the running back for Oklahoma, and I had Oklahoma in a dynasty last year. Big touchdown run for the Noles, and there's some controversy in Alabama. There are questions abounding. Again, week 1. Let's not get our panties in a bunch here. There a lot of things can happen, but there's gonna be some noise. There's gonna be some noise about the coaching situation there. But is it Kalen DeBoer? Is that how you say it? Is that his name? Yeah, Kalen DeBoer. I mean, there's already. I searched his name and CBS 17 hours ago. Kalen DeBoer buyout contract details as Alabama coach in year 2. Man. If DeBoer is fired without cause, he would earn 90% of remaining. Isn't being bad at football cause? He has one of the highest buyouts, approximately $63 million after he signed a multi-year contract in January of 24. January of 24. Pac-12. Yeah, they're talking about Washington. Was he just... Is this his first year there? I thought he was there last year. Yeah, he would have had all of 24. No, it's only 20. Yeah, he would have had all of 24. Started at Sioux Falls, huh? 9-4 last year, and a loss in the ReliaQuest Bowl. Can't imagine that's what the Crimson Tide faithful are looking for there, though. Indiana kind of gets a little more than they hoped for out of Old Dominion. That game was close early, and Indiana finally pulled away. Oregon, like I said, Texas A&M, Florida, good. LSU goes into the other Death Valley, the Battle of the Death Valleys. That was a fun game. I watched that while I was falling asleep and got yelled at by the roommate to turn the TV off. And Miami holds on. The furious fourth quarter push. 2 touchdowns and a field goal for Notre Dame in the fourth quarter. But a 47-yard field goal is enough for Miami as Carson Beck leads the Canes to a win. 20-31, 205, 2 touchdowns. Sloppy football, I thought, for the most part, this past weekend. Well, obviously, game 1, we'll see if that cleans itself up a little bit. So, all right, that's about all I got. What do we got next week? Next week's like one of the worst weeks of football. You don't get like any of the top matchups. Michigan, Oklahoma is your lone ranked matchup next week. That'll be 6:30. This is like the thing I hate most about college football. I mean, you got Alabama, Wisconsin in week 3. I mean, Army, Kansas. Let's just stick with next week. I mean, your top teams: Boise State, Eastern Washington, Indiana, Kennesaw State. Like, nice schedule, Indiana. I mean, as Penn State plays FIU, what do I have to say? And Ohio State plays Grambling State. Georgia, Austin Peay, Ole Miss, Kentucky. That might not be bad. That's at 2:30. Oregon, Oklahoma State. That's okay. South Carolina State. I didn't even know there was a South Carolina State. The South Carolina State Bulldogs play South Carolina. The fuck is B-CU? Oh, Bethune-Cookman. Bethune-Cookman. Yeah, so Michigan at Oklahoma next week. And then what's the best game the following week? Texas at Notre Dame, Florida at LSU. So a couple next week. Oh, Georgia, Tennessee. Week 3, not bad. Week 3, not bad. Week 4, no, it's week 5, I think, is like that week this year. Let me get down here and double check. LSU, Ole Miss, Bama, Georgia, Penn State, Oregon. Bama, Georgia, Penn State, Oregon going on at the same time. Huh? Both night games. Oh, 2 TVs. 2 TVs works great for them. All right, let's go. Let's keep moving. Time for some passing thoughts. First off, let's talk a little golf. Ryder Cup picks. Keegan Bradley does not pick himself. He goes with, I think, what seemed to be the right team. I'm very much okay with where he went. And before we get there, I think we should mention that this was a great statement before I talk about the picks in general. This was from Mark Harris. It's Mark Harris on X. The U.S. Ryder Cup team would be better with Keegan Bradley on it. Keegan Bradley not picking himself is admirable. The U.S. team should still be considered favorites for Bethpage. All these things can be true at once. Just an impossibly tough situation. I agree. I think that Keegan would have been better on this team than a couple of guys. That said, I'm okay with what it is. So again, the qualifiers were Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele, Harris English, Bryson DeChambeau, JJ Spawn, Alexander Schauffele. I said Xander. Scotty and JJ, they've moved it on this thing. Scotty and JJ, Xander, Russell Henley, Bryson, Harris English. Picked JT. That was going to happen no matter what. Colin Morikawa, pretty much going to happen no matter what. Pat Cantlay, Ben Griffith, Sam Burns, Cam Young. There's nobody that's not on the team that I think should have been on the team outside of Keegan. I'm glad they took Cam Young. I think he's a good course fit here. He's been putting his eyes out, strikes the shit out of it. Hometown kid. Ben Griffin's played pretty well all year. Justin Thomas lives for this shit, as does Patrick Cantlay. And Sam Burns is just kind of the next guy you got to pick. So, all in all, I'm okay with the team. Captain Keegan. You got Jim Furyk, Kevin Kisner, Webb Simpson, Brant Snedeker, Gary Woodland. Jim Furyk has been a captain of many of these teams. The rest of them are all kind of new. So, I'm okay with it. September 26, 27, 28, we put the team in the field. I believe it's the exact same team for the European Ryder Cup team as it was in France. Oh, hang on. I think they switched out the Højgaard. I literally think it's one Højgaard out, the other Højgaard in. I could be wrong. I think that... Yeah, I think Nikolai played last year. But I hope we beat the shit out of these guys. Just beat the shit out of them. Hopefully. All in all, I think Keegan should have played. I get why he didn't. It would have been real tough. Had he just played a little bit better at the end of the year, I think he was in there. Just a smidge better. Micah Parsons is a Packer. Just gonna say that one more time. Micah Parsons is a Packer. Watched a little bit of WWE Clash in Paris. Hey guys, the crowd sang the songs. They're from Europe. Ooh, they made up their own songs. Hey, it's so cool. Yeah, it's cool. I get it. It's not the greatest thing that's ever happened. The crowds at U.S. events are hot sometimes too. Hey, we get a little spoiled. We have it. We create awesome things in America. Pro wrestling, American. So we go and share it with the rest of the world. So you guys better be pumped up. John Cena put on an absolute classic with Logan Paul. I mean, John Cena's out here doing the AJ Styles clash. I mean, John Cena is a goddamn American icon. We have 8 more dates left to him or something like that. What a tragedy. The main event was fun. I saw that too. I saw like 3 matches. I saw Roman Reigns and Big Bronson Reed. If you rewind the pod a little bit when Big Cat Bill Gardner's on here, take a screenshot and put that up next to Bryson Reed. You're going to see a lot of similarities in that. Similar body size too. Just the shape of... Bill's going to get mad at me, but just put them next to each other. So I watched Bronson Reed versus Roman Reigns. That ended in a bunch of people getting their ass kicked. Or mostly just Roman Reigns getting his ass kicked. Writes him off again for a while so he can do his like whole four matches a year thing. Then I watched the main event. Jey Uso, LA Knight, CM Punk, Seth Rollins. Fun match. Becky Lynch comes back and seems to join Seth Rollins' faction. I saw CM Punk grabbing a sign that says we need AJ Lee or something like that. So it feels like that's what they're trying to set up. I don't know, but it feels like that's what they're trying to set up. So, just a couple other things here. I saw a video online from, a guy. I wish I could. Big dude. He's always making the videos on, the reels and Instagrams and the talks. Big dude, probably in like his mid 30s. Talks a lot about like 90s stuff. Always wears like the big ass, like wide, colorful glasses. And he was talking about how he's like, I would have thought I was going to be catching on fire a lot more with all the stop, drop, and roll we used to have to get taught about. And I was like, yeah, we did. We learned about stop, drop, and roll incessantly when we were in grade school. I don't know if that's still a thing. I'll have to ask the roommate if they still teach stop, drop, and roll. I mean, we had stop, drop, and roll like drills incessantly. We always had fire drills at the school. They'd bring in like the like portable room that they'd like fill with smoke. It was like a trailer, like made to look like a bedroom. Be like, how do you get out? We were trained in just repeatedly for fires as children. Did everything just burn down in like the 60s, 70s, and 80s that when by the time those kids in the 90s were around, they're like, we have to prepare everybody for the fact that every day there is going to be a fire. There will be a fire daily. You'll need to stop, drop, and roll. You're going to have to escape every room you've ever entered because they're all going to catch on fire. Seriously, what the fuck was going on? Also, quicksand. I always used to think quicksand, and I think I've seen this somewhere too. Like every kids movie had quicksand in it. All the cartoons had. I thought we were going to run into a lot of quicksand. Never seen quicksand in my life. I don't even think I've seen it in a movie or TV show anymore. But there was always quicksand. There was animals stuck in the quicksand. People were stuck in quicksand. Don't move. It'll suck you in faster. That makes no sense. But quicksand, it was everywhere. Quicksand and stop, drop, and roll. I have a hot take. I'm going to save the hot take to last. Roommate made some delicious concoctions over the weekend here. Well, first of all, we stole this from the Tailgate Foodie. He's been on here before, Dean. So check out his stuff, Tailgate Foodie. Great seasonings, great sauces. Made a jalapeno popper dip with his white lightning sauce to add a little extra flavor to the cream cheese and jalapeno popper and cheddar cheese and stuff like that. And you put it on. He used the chicken thigh. The roommate refuses to indulge me in chicken thigh, so only lets us get breast. But you cover it in his barbecue seasoning, get it on the grill, touch it up with a little barbecue sauce once on the grill, let that kind of cook into it as well. And then the jalapeno popper, dip, spread, whatever you want to call it over top. Delicious. And then last night, roommate made a spicy vodka sauce pasta with boars and cheese meatballs with a big ball of burrata cheese on top, too. Oh, just fantastico. I mean, here, there's the... Getting up in there. There it is before the boars and cheese balls all popped. Oh, there we go. There's a good picture. Those nice meatballs and that spicy vodka sauce. Oh, it was delicious. Absolutely delicious. All right, here's my hot take I'm leaving you with. Brisket is overrated. I said it. I'm not saying brisket's bad. Brisket is a very good meat. But it's overrated. If I go to a barbecue restaurant, you're getting barbecue somewhere, brisket's my third choice. A great pulled pork and ribs are better than brisket. You can't convince me otherwise. A good pulled pork for a sandwich, maybe with some mac and cheese, or just good, a good barbecue rib, fall off the bone, juicy, melts in your mouth, great pairing with the sauce. Maybe you dry rub it. Maybe you don't even need the sauce. A rib is so far superior to brisket, it's not funny. And pulled pork is better too. I said it. I don't. Say what you will. That's my take. Brisket's overrated. Brisket's not bad, but it's at best the third thing you should order when you go to a barbecue place. Closing time, everybody. Just want to thank Bill and MJ for coming on. Don't forget to check out MJ over at the Full Range Pod on Spotify and on the Old Walls House YouTube channel. Get your Old Walls House, right there, Old Walls House merch and Full Range Podcast merch at the merch shop listed in the show notes below. Thank you, producer Kevin, for helping get started on this whole video pass. And we will be back next week. As always, more college football. NFL football's here. I'm brainstorming something. Just be on the lookout for something. I don't know if I'm going to pull it off. I'm going to think about it. I might do something. And yeah, so we'll be back next week. Till then, Micah Parsons is a Packer. Peace!